People are fighting about God. This is God and this is our God. This is your God. That's not good. But as a matter of fact, there is no God at all. Every single thing is existence, and God is existence. There is no all is here and there is God jumping out of it, because everything is God. God is life. How can you say this is life and that is there is not life, or this is not and there is life? It's just a name. People fight for that what they are, for everything that is. It is everything that is. That's the name we call God. But we say there is God and this is not God. It's impossible. You cannot exclude God from himself. Illusion is that which is not true. So how can it change? It is not true, so there's nothing that can make it different than that it is. It is illusion. How can you do something with illusion? It doesn't exist. And we all are this whole world with all people on it and all moving animals and trees and growing flowers and clouds and waves. It is all illusion. It is not there. It doesn't exist. So why do we so much trouble and make us tired and exhausted to try to change things in illusion? It's just developing itself from its own source back to its source. That's creation. It's coming and going around and always remaining that round, because illusion cannot disappear. How could it when it is not existing? And you cannot disappear because you are not existing. The only thing that is going on is that you grow from nothingness through imagined forms back to nothingness. And then you are aware that you are nothing. And that no thing, you are no thing. And that is the greatest bliss you can imagine. And we have to, because it is so strong belief that we are this, that we have to repeat and repeat and repeat. We are not this illusion. And slowly the form will open, the illusion will be not destroyed because it is not real, but the wisdom will be realized. Realize the self. The self has made apparently this world to get lost in all the elusive forms, and it was hurting. So now this self is withdrawing itself from the elusive forms, and it's fulfilled with its own bliss, because it's no, I am not that illusion. But illusion remains. It is not real, because as long as there is a rope, there will always be the appearance of the snake, which is not there. So there is a rope, and the illusion says it is a snake. So you cannot take away the snake and the rope still there, only when you understand that it is wrong vision. But as long as there is this rope in creation, there will be the snake. As long as there is this creation, there will be this illusion. And the totality is not real. It's just image from the great wisdom of God's wisdom, the wisdom of the all-knowing who made this game. There's so much bliss when you know your reality, and the more you spend your attention and your awareness, your consciousness, spend your time on this wisdom, the more it will settle, and you will be in illusion, but it will be a gift of God, of the bliss of knowing. You enjoy the flowers, although you know they are not there, and you enjoy the clouds coming and disappearing, and you enjoy everything because you know it is there for joy, for the joy of the Lord inside, the wisdom inside, seeing all His creation. Look at that, look at that. It's so blissful and beautiful. But when the mind takes over, the mind is illusion. It will take you, it won't let you go, but watch it, you will win. The mind, when it has a chance, it will say, that's not good, I'm so unhappy, why? And there we go again, bam, in the illusion. Then we are in the snake. We only see the snake and not the rope. But the snake is something that is coming over the rope. It's not there, but we believe it. So real wisdom is joy, the being of joy. And that's it. Take all the possible time to give to that real self that you are. Give your time to bliss, because we in the world where we live, we give all our free time to be happy. And we go to holidays and we like to see a movie, or we go talking with friends or dinner. That's all to feel good. But it will depart because it was not real. We were not real in that elusive world. But when you spend your time to the reality that you are, it will explore, it will grow to the real self. It's worth, being lost is worth the coming home. Happiness. And when you know that you are the indweller, the entity inside, the wisdom, the formless being hidden inside this form. And you still are with this form here in this world. And you can enjoy, because you know that you are not that world. The duality has gone. You only realize the real self that is expressed with the beauty what you see around you, because there's no duality anymore. You just see yourself, and the self is beautiful. You see the flowers and all the nice things, and you smile at a child, and the doggies come to you, and you see the new leaves on the trees. You only see the beauty of all, and when you see the pain in people, you realize that they are breaking open to their reality, which you also had that endured. And that's the wisdom of God, to make you realize only through diving you can get up. And the most blissful, purest happiness is when you see people opening up to the reality that they are. When they, now I see, now I know. And this is the joy of the Lord, of the God, because God made all this illusion, is these appearances, this creation, and he was hidden inside all his own forms. And when those forms open up to the wisdom that they are, the reality, the God in them, in himself hidden there, God opens up the love, the wisdom, and that's the most blissful reality that you can feel, the experience of the self. First you open up, and then you see yourself, that what you are being opened in other forms. And it's all the one God, the one beloved, the one love itself that's meeting itself. You see what you are in all. And that's not about the forms, but it is about the one self. As long as you are here in this world, waking up every morning, you say, thank you, God, for this day, even before it starts. And then God has all the power, because there's nothing obstructing his gift. And that gift is what you are inside you. You give yourself the most blissful being, because you don't obstruct life. And, well, what can you say? What can you say? Grateful to the knowledge of the self, realization. Self-realization is to know what you are, to really understand and feel and experience what you are. That is Sat Chit Ananda. Sat is to be, and Chit is to know that you are what you are. And then there's this bliss Ananda. I wish you all the Ananda you can handle, and merge in it. When you wake up in the morning, and first thing comes to your mind, grateful for knowing your reality. Then you see all your lives stumbling and falling and breaking and climbing and suffering and getting more power and more to dare to go on. And that's the God inside. Because when you call God, which is the beloved in you, he created this story, or this journey through darkness. Let's say it's dark because we don't understand what we are. We are searching, and we search first in the material stuff in the world, and in relationships, and in money, and in importance, and that is not good. We feel not happy, so we start to search inside, and then God has to come. Sai Baba says, I am your slave. When you call, I have to come. So, he is God, came for us to make us realize we are God. And when God speaks to you and says, I have to come, you make me come. That's so, wow, killing your little human, personal, what you thought you were. And then this, wow, you are so grateful. When you ask God for help, he has to help, because he's in you. He cannot turn away. It's your own real self. When you ask yourself for help, it has to be done. When you ask yourself for wisdom and love and light and enlightenment and being freed of all these mind troubles and troubles of the body in the world and all this misery, when you ask the God inside, He's hurrying, or it, or light is coming. And maybe it will, in the beginning, make you suffer, because there are things on the road that you have to overcome to get through to that way straight to yourself. First, there are old things that are not understood, that they call it karma. But once that is done, and you say, in the morning you wake up and you say, thank you, God, already. Before the day starts, you say, thank you. You can... It is so beautiful to be God, and to receive God, and to become God, and to know you are God. Because God is a word so misunderstood. It is God is a state of being. God is bliss. When you feel love, there is God. That's all. You are touched by God because you asked Him to come. And the God inside is so happy to, joyful, helping you to His light, to His wisdom, which is your own wisdom, because you are that God. You are not that person anymore. Blessings, blessings. It's not to be explained, that it's not, you cannot do it, it's impossible, that the mind makes up itself, and in that mind it makes up images of creation, imagination, the world, the moving people talking and fighting and sporting, and all movements are in the mind, which makes up itself. It's so idiot, cannot understand it. It's not possible that you can explain what is not there, because you are not there. And what is that you see, and what is it that it's understood? What is the inside of that which is not there? How can it make you understand when there's nothing? The mind is not real. It makes up itself. It makes up itself. It imagines itself, and in this imagined mind is imagination of forms, like you, me, the world, oceans, trees growing, money, people fighting, wars, children born. It's it's all imagination in the mind which imagines itself. Not cannot understand. This is so funny that things are seen which do not exist, and they are seen by a so-called person which does not exist neither. It is all imagination. Mind imagines itself. Well, that's a power we cannot even grasp it. The mind cannot understand itself, that it is making up itself. But the mind imagines itself to be, and in this mind it imagines forms visible and actions and things going on, a total creation. It can imagine a creation with people and trees growing and skies and waves on oceans, and it can imagine anything in itself. But itself, the mind, doesn't exist. It is imagination, and in the imagination it is imagining all this here. And we are so concerned about, oh, suppose this and suppose... We don't exist, and the mind doesn't exist. Nothing, no thing exists. It is all only forms visible on the screen of the mind. And the mind itself, it is not, you cannot find it. It's not existing. Why are we so concerned? We believe the mind which is not real. And our belief is not real, and we are not real. There is nothing but image. And the proof of that is in deep sleep there is no mind and there is no image, nothing. There is no mind imagining things. In deep sleep we are. And because of that, to realize that, there is this imagination of all forms going on, and danger and cold and freezing to death and burning, and all that is imagined in the mind. So the real self is free of that imagination. It can appreciate its nothingness, because before all this was played in the mind, this nothingness that we are was not appreciated, because there was no contra form. You can only be happy when you were first unhappy, or you can be warm when you have felt the cold. That's all the opposite. So the mind, which does not exist, imagines itself to make up opposites of itself, the duality. And then in a deep sleep, nothing of that. And it continues in the day, when we so-called the mind comes back. The mind imagines itself every morning. Say at 8 o'clock there is the mind, and at 7 o'clock and 59 seconds, nothing. So one split second, and there is the mind imagining itself again. Who does that? Well, the non-existing mind, because this all here is not real. It proves that it's not real, because in the sleep, mind is bored by itself, it gets tired by itself, and it falls asleep, and it disappears again. To where does it go? Where does it go? Because it never existed. What a power is there in this imagined form, in this creative force that we have. What a power! But don't care too much about it, don't be too serious about it, because every night again nothing is remaining. Only you, the formless inner bliss. And that bliss is just realized after thinking and imagining. It is not bliss. My, oh my. What a funny story. Just enjoy it. Enjoy the movies and the nature. Enjoy the things, the flowers. Enjoy the imagination. Enjoy the imagination, the images that you can make. Enjoy it. And a good meal and a movie and a glass of wine, and knowing this is all bliss. It is all imagination out of your own power. And you are that. You are that one making it, imagining it. No words left. No words left. Just amazing. It's not true, it's not real, and still it gives so much joy, because knowing it's not real, you know the reality of the self that you are. When the form is gone, the mind is gone, the bliss is felt, experienced, and now already you touch that bliss thanks to this imagination of the mind. Be happy. The creation appears out of ourself. We, we are in the creation that we created ourselves. There's nothing, then there's creation, and we are in it, but we created it ourselves. Oh my goodness. Well, if you see the spider comes down on the web and goes up again in the web. So that means out of the spider comes this thread, and it takes it back in itself again. Well, so beautiful. Nature teaches so much. We are not there, we don't exist. And then we exist in that which we imagine itself, ourselves, and we imagine ourselves in our imagination. Yeah. That's what mind can do. The mind is the most great power. And it can distract you and turn you in the illusion where you will be lost. And then it can bring you home to itself where all imagination started. Look at the spider. It comes down and the thread comes out of itself. The spider goes down and takes the thread back in itself. Our creation, our form, our beingness comes out of ourself and comes back in ourself. Really, there will be no words left. That's what Sai Baba said. The truth shall fill you. No words shall remain. It will be silent. It will be so peaceful. My. My whole skull is vibrating of transformative connection with the reality which is not visible. The invisibility descends and makes this visible, and makes itself understandable, realizes itself in this visibility and then withdraws itself again in the invisibility. And that feels in the skull. I wonder what will be. How will it be when there is really nothing to see? Must be like when you are at the point of falling asleep. Heaven, but then billions of times more beautiful. You are so blessed to realize this reality of your being coming to the reality of itself. Thank you. Again, I say only thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you, imagination. Thank you, world. Thank you, mind. Thank you, self. Happiness, bliss, Ananda. This creation is just an imagination of the God in us, the self in us, to discover how it feels to be that self, to realize that self. And this creation is where we are experiencing things, and when you know this is not a reality, this is just an imagination, it doesn't depart, it doesn't go away. Like when there is a rope, there will always be a snake in an idea. You cannot take that idea of the snake away and the rope remains, because they are in the illusion, they are the one same vision. You can only remember, no, it's not a snake, it's a rope. You can wake up and then still the rope is there, which seems to be a snake. So the illusion doesn't leave, it's only that you are not fooled by it anymore. Like you see in the desert, you can see by the heat and the vibration, you can see like in a mirage, the water in the sand. Well, that doesn't disappear when you know it's not real. It's still there, only you don't go and try to drink because you know it's not there, although you see it. And this is what creation is. It's not there, although you see it. You are not there, although you feel and you speak and you grow in understanding. There is just knowing. That's the only substance that exists. Knowing. There's only the knowing of things. And when you know what it is, it's not important anymore. It disappears. Although it's there, it doesn't touch anything, because you are beyond the experiences and the appearances. You see the rope and it looks like a snake, but you don't run away. That's what it means, that this Maya world remains. Although you understand it is Maya, it is illusion, but it doesn't bother you anymore. That's self realization, the bliss of knowing. There's only knowing, and then that is the bliss, because you know what you are. That is Sat Chit Ananda. To be, to know that you are. The knowing of your being. That's bliss. That's what is.
Sat